Hockey friends and families around the world, and welcome back to another edition of Our Girls Play Hockey. It's Lee with Haley Scamurra here today. We are back to our Day in the Life series with Haley. We've been following her through her PWHL season, her Olympic journey that led to a gold medal, just the life of being Haley Scamurra, which has accelerated a lot lately. So when we left you last, all right, the last time we had this conversation, fresh off the gold medal victory, we went through the Olympics. For those of you listening, make sure you go back and listen to that one if you haven't. Really, all of the hosts on the show just gushed over you the entire time. It was awesome. We all felt pretty good. I remember after that episode, Haley, Christy Casciano, one of our co-hosts, called me and she goes, "That was so fun. That was so great." Like we talked to a real gold medalist. And to which Christy, I said, "Christy, you've been a news lady for like 25 years. You've been so she was just very happy." So today we're going to be talking about kind of the post-Olympic thing. It's been, 2-3 weeks now? So it's been about 3 weeks since you won. So we'll do this kind of chronologically, right?
Yeah.
So you come back from the Olympics. You're there for a few more days. You get the closing ceremonies. You're back in the United States. The first thing you're met with, and you were in the middle of this when we were recording, is 3 PWHL games in a row. And not just any games. You win these 3 games, you go to the top of the standings, like real playoff implications in these games, big games against big teams. Walk us through how you go from the greatest moment of your life to I've got to get back into game mode right now, playing with my opponents, against my teammates, so forth and so on.
It was insane. We literally had one day off when we got back from our crazy travel day. And then I had to leave 2 days later for New York. So I had to unpack, repack, do laundry, all that fun stuff. A little bit of a hit back to reality for sure. But then on top of that, it's like, especially after winning the gold medal, so many people are reaching out, wanting to talk, wanting to interview, wanting to podcast, like all these different things. I'm trying to field that while also dealing with my schedule. So it was a lot. We had like one practice and literally left the next day. And that first game, I was like, it was the weirdest out of body experience because I wasn't really fully rested, hadn't really recovered from jet lag. Like you can kind of tell it was everyone's first game in a while, or you had just come back from the Olympics. Like it was a wild game, but I was very proud of our team. We did great.
In New York, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, in New York.
And they had beaten you 2 times in a row prior to that too. So this is the game you won.
Yeah. And we played great. We found a way to kind of battle through like the first game rust, if you will.
Yeah.
But then right before that, I actually had a request to do the Kelly Clarkson Show because it's filmed in New York. And I was like, of course. So I had to pack for that. I stayed a little bit longer, like the next day after a game, to do that with our PR guy. And that was the most incredible experience ever.
Well, we're going to get into that. So
So I kind of jumped ahead a little bit.
No, it's good. It's good. I want to preface just to give people an idea how busy you were. So first off, let me ask this question.
Yeah.
Like when I don't know if you had your US phone over in Italy, I mean, after the game, let's just go. After the game, I didn't ask this. How many missed texts, how many texts or calls did you have on your phone?
Hundreds, hundreds of messages on either text message or Instagram or Facebook, like so many. And as I kind of talked about in the previous episode, I'm like a toxic replier back. Like I literally sat on the bus and wrote thank you to so many people because I really hate having my notifications up on my phone. So I tried to respond to as many people as I could that night so I didn't have anything lingering the next day. But then again, like it was coming through all the time. Like I was getting messages. Even today, I'm still getting messages like, hey, I didn't want to bombard you at the time, but congrats, So it's pretty crazy. It's really incredible.
No, I'm glad to know that hell for me is unread messages. That I'm not the only person that feels that little red circle with a number is hell. So that's good to know. What's funny about us, right, is like, obviously we texted a little bit. My gauge was, and I told our crew this, I said, when Haley responds with a full sentence to you, she's ready to talk. If you're getting 2 words, she's fine. She's going to respond to you. But when you get a sentence back, that means things have calmed down a little bit.
That is so true.
and again, just to let the audience know how crazy things were, and we love this. We had a recording set for our show, and you always reached out like, "Hey, are you good for this?" And I remember we could say this now. You go, oh no, I have to go on Kelly Clarkson.
Oh
And
my
we
gosh.
ribbed you so hard. We were like, so you're choosing a national broadcast over our podcast today, and which obviously we were happy about.
That was so funny. I will not forget that. Thank goodness you texted me. I would have felt terrible if you guys were just waiting there. But like everything happened so fast. Like I found out the day before we left for New York that they were like requesting me because I was the only US player who was going to be in New York at that time.
Yeah.
And so it just was like kismet, right? So I was like, I have to do this, obviously. And you guys were obviously very understanding, but it was so funny. I was like, whooks.
No, dude, honestly, we messaged you because we figured like she's got a lot going on right now. Let's make sure she's okay. Because look, and I'll tell the audience, Haley is such a great person and a great professional. Like you always get back to us. You always tell us what's going on. But like in that week, I was like, we need to maybe check with her, just make sure she's okay. Look, in addition, and we will get to Kelly Clarkson and Pink, but like it wasn't just that. You were getting on podcasts, you were being interviewed on local news, big news. It was just constant, right? And you do those things, I think, right? So how did you organize all of that incoming stuff? And then was it just like, let's go? Like you're a gamer, right? Was it just let's do it?
I literally, the day I got back, I actually just forgot about this until now. I got back on like the 24th of February and I had all these requests coming from our PR guy in Montreal. And I go, just book it all today. I go, well, I'll just crank through it. Like, why not?
Yeah.
And little did I know there was going to be more later on in life, but like, I thought that was going to be it. So I was like, just let's crank it out. So I literally had 3 or 4 interviews that day.
Wow.
That I did.
So that's what Hollywood movie stars do when they're promoting a movie. So now you know.
And you know what? Feels. Kudos to them because it takes a lot of like energy and like, it's even if it's only a 10-minute interview, it's like, it's still energy. It's still time in your day. It's still, something you're preparing for, mentally and whatnot. So, important to kind of manage the energy during this time for sure.
Yeah, no, and it can be exhausting. It's always funny. Sometimes you get really good bloopers from celebrities when they're in like the 10th interview of the day. But good on you, Haley, for like doing it. And by the way, you did it so eloquently. Like
thank you.
When you do interviews, including this show, like you give everything you got. It's so obvious. You know what I mean? So thank you for that. Okay, let's get to the big show. So you get invited on Kelly Clarkson. If Kelly Clarkson's not cool enough, Pink is hosting the episode, who is awesome. Tell us everything. I'm not going to ask. Just tell us everything from when you got there to hair and makeup to going on stage to like do you see Pink before the show? Is Pink just sitting there? Then she asks you questions. Tell us everything.
So like I know this is my first talk show ever. Like didn't know what to expect. I get a call like the day before. They want me to send pictures in. I do a pre-interview for the interview where they ask questions to kind of see what topics they might want to hit. So that was like a crazy experience. And then getting there, we got there like probably 2 hours before I was going to go on air. They did hair and makeup. They did, I had my little dressing room with a fridge stocked with drinks, like with some snacks too. Like I didn't really have time for that, but actually I did have a ginger ale with a straw. That was fun.
You go.
Had to get something. I have a picture of me with doing hair and makeup, having my little ginger ale, but that was really fun. And then I didn't get to meet Pink beforehand.
Wow.
So like
when you walk out there, that's the first time you're meeting her. That's awesome.
So I literally was like, I go, do I hug her? Like what? And then I also found out there was another host, Kenny Silver, I believe.
Yeah.
And she was on Reno 911. She was on the show 4 seasons, like so funny.
And she's sitting right
I found
next
out
to
she
you
was
out
also So I go, where do I sit? Do I hug them? Like I don't want to like, what if they're not huggers? Like I like, or is it
what
like
if
a handshake?
Pink tries to fight you right there?
Yeah.
She might do that. She's written songs about it. No, go ahead.
Like what's gonna happen, right? And then it was really sweet because like the manager for Pink kept saying like she's so excited to see you, like she's really excited for this, like yada yada yada. So I was like, okay, like cool. And so I get out there and like you're waiting for the doors to open, you're waiting behind the thing, and then it's like all the people are there. It's a live audience, like 200 people like cheering for you, excited. I'm just waving, and then Pink is like bowing down to me, like so is Carrie, and I'm like, what is happening right now? Like this is crazy. And then they both gave me like big hugs, like super sweet. And I kind of was just like disassociated from like how cool the moment was. I was just like, okay, there's just 2 people interviewing me. Like don't overthink this.
Well, remember, you're actually the celebrity in that moment, to be fair.
Which is still so crazy to me. Like Like, what? So, they were great. It went really well. What's cool is that it's, like, recorded, so at least it wasn't live. Like, that
Yeah.
helped a lot because at one point, actually, Carrie's, um, prompter wasn't reading, and she goes, "Oh, my question's not there." You know what I mean? So, like, things happened on the thing. So, like,
Yeah.
that kinda helped mentally as well.
So you're
Um
saying this podcast has prepared you
Yes.
for live recordings?
Yes, exactly. So yeah, it was just amazing and they were so nice. And then after the interview, when the cameras were off or whatever, like they wanted to chat for a bit. So we were sitting there chatting and
That's cool.
they were just so kind. Like Pink was saying her son's recently into hockey, so she's a hockey mom now. And she's like, I really want to go to a pro women's game. I was like, we got to get you to a pro women's
Yeah,
game for
I'm
sure.
sure
So
they let her in.
I am working on it. I want her to go to a game so bad. Carrie said
Yeah,
she was down too. So like, let's get him to a game. Like, why not? So they were just so nice. Like, when you meet a celebrity, you want them to be really nice, right? You don't want to
yeah.
set too high of expectations, but they were absolutely incredible. So it was such a great experience. And then we went right to the airport, right back to Montreal.
Wow. Well, I'll say this too. Like, I want to say, I think Pink, not just one of the most talented female artists ever, but just such a great person.
Yeah.
Outspoken, um,
Yeah.
not just about women, but just in general, in a positive way, right?
Hmm.
Like I think she's just such a great role model for young kids, as are you, obviously.
Thank you.
But it was so cool to be there. Now, do you want to meet Kelly Clarkson? Is the other question I want to ask because obviously
I
you wasn't there that day.
I had mixed emotions because I'm like, "Oh my god, I get to meet Pink. This is incredible." But, like, Kelly Clarkson was like, I loved her. Like, growing
Yeah,
up, like, I watched American Idol when she won. Like, that
right,
was the first season I
right.
watched. Like, I think she is an incredibly talented singer and, like, person, and so I wanted to meet them both. Like, I was
Right.
like, "What the heck?" But, yeah. So,
Yeah.
again, Pink was incredible, but I was also wanting to meet Kelly Clarkson for sure.
Yeah, I think people underestimate. Actually, nobody in music underestimates Kelly Clarkson as a singer, but
Mhm.
she's one of the greatest vocalists ever.
Yes.
Did you ever see the movie From Justin to Kelly? Were you that big of a fan?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Okay, all right. You were probably young then, so I can see why you would
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Little, I think that wasn't that the first season of American Idol? Very first
Yes.
season? Yeah, that was like the
Yep.
original season.
Yep,
I remember where I
original.
was.
Yep.
All right, this next question I got to ask. So Pink actually asked you about it too
Mhm.
on set. It's well documented now. After the Olympics, there was a little bit of political drama and debacle
Mhm. Mhm.
surrounding the games. Look, I think you've said all you need to say
Yeah.
about that. Again, for the audience listening, we're not going to dive into it. You can go see what Haley has said and the rest of the team.
Yeah.
But what I think is really cool, Haley, is that the focus is now returning
Mhm.
to you winning gold, the men winning gold, and that
Yep.
USA hockey is on top of the world right now. Okay. In,
Yep.
in terms of stature. Again, I always like to shout out our Canadian audience. We care about you deeply. Don't think this is anything to do with them. This is how I want to frame this question. Can we talk for a minute about the importance of keeping the focus on
Mhm.
that and the fact that you won, the men won, the game is growing, that there's
Yep.
actually a responsibility with that, and
Mhm.
that's where your focus, in my opinion,
Mhm.
I have to say that should be
Yep.
right now because
Yeah.
it's somewhat of once in a lifetime accomplishment.
Yeah. I think despite, like, all of that, I think it honestly just brought more eyes to our game. It
Yeah,
really did, and I felt that outpouring of love and support, and I think that's what we've been kinda riding off of, honestly, and, you can see the growth in the game and the numbers and the
oh, big
viewership
time.
and
Yeah,
everything. Like, we have 100,000 girls registered in USA Hockey. Like, that's amazing. It's the first time we've hit that number, right? So, I think just focusing on that and then focusing on our league now and welcoming in the new people who are watching. And, we have sellout crowds at Madison Square Garden and TD Garden coming up. Like, I'll be at the TD Garden game. I
that's
cannot
you got to
wait.
break
Like,
another record.
yeah, like it's
Yeah,
just we keep breaking records. Like, it's absolutely amazing. And I think, it's so important to kind of keep focused on it. And then in terms of like the gold medals, like first time in history, the men and women have won at the same
yeah,
time. Um,
which is
for us,
amazing.
it was the best Olympic hockey team that's been made. Like our US team was absolutely incredible. We were so dominant the whole tournament,
Yeah,
2 goals against the whole tournament. Um, just scoring more than 5 goals almost every game. Like you can't make it like it's just and then like Hillary breaking her records in the gold medal game, breaking the Olympic scoring records, like just so many storylines that happened
yeah.
that just show the incredible growth of women's hockey, how incredible we were, how dominant we were. And so I think it's pretty easy to kind of refocus on us.
Yeah, look. How about we say this too? there's so many positives. I
Mhm.
mean, it's like almost
Mhm.
unlimited amounts of positives for both teams.
Yep.
Why focus on the one negative? Like,
Yeah.
however you perceive it, right?
Yep.
Like keep it on the positive stuff. And
Yep.
I'm going to say too, just echoing you, 100,000 girls signed up for USA Hockey and growing.
Mhm.
Those of you listening know I coach a women's team and a girls team. How about this one, Haley? First time ever, Puerto Rico ice hockey, over 100 female registrants. That's pretty amazing to me when you think about not just 100 women playing hockey, but under the Puerto Rican flag. That's pretty cool. I just got done with a tryout today for my girls' youth team. We're seeing record numbers there. So the growth of the game, not just the game itself, but women's hockey, girls' hockey in general, we're seeing that boom immediately. And I think we're going to see it for a long time to come. You said it perfectly too, that it's the first time. There's only going to be one first time that
Mhm.
both teams win together, and that's why
Mhm.
I think this is. I think again, 1980 was a seminal moment in hockey. I think 1998 was a big moment in hockey, and I think that nothing with against 18, but
Yep.
26 is going to be a major moment when we look at the history of USA Hockey and growth of the game.
Yep.
And again, it doesn't matter what country you're from; it's good for the game. Period. All right.
Agreed.
And I'll just say one more thing about what you said, because I like saying it. That it's not just because it was USA. I mean that was the most dominant team I have ever seen
Yeah.
in Olympic competition. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone contributed. it was
Yeah.
it was pretty
Literally.
amazing, right?
Yeah.
Literally, yeah. All right, let's keep going here. So, yeah, Pink, Kelly Clarkson, no big deal. Then your hometown team calls. Buffalo Sabres call you.
Yeah.
Why don't you walk us through that phone call and how you ended up in front of that entire crowd?
So they really wanted, like, me and Winnie both, Haley Wynn, my
Yeah,
teammate, because she's from Rochester, New York. They really wanted us to come to. Oh, and Joy Dunn,
yeah,
her brother plays for the Sabres. They wanted us to come to their first game back from the break because they were honoring Tage Thompson too. So they did want it to be at the same time, which would have
right.
been obviously really cool.
Yeah,
However, I had a game in Toronto the exact same night.
right.
So they're obviously very understanding of that. They're like, we would just love to have you at a game at some point. So I'm looking at the schedule and I'm like, I really wanted to make it work. I wanted to get it done at some point soon because after our 3 games in 5 days with our team, we had like a 12-day break of
Right.
games. We still had practices. And so I'm looking at the schedule and I'm like, okay, we have a day off here. And funny enough, the Sabres are playing the Washington Capitals. And my dad still lives in Buffalo and he used to play for the Capitals. And I
Yeah,
was like,
perfect.
that'd be kind of fun. Like
Yeah,
I could leave the day before, right after our practice. I can go to the game, leave the next morning, make practice the next day. And it was definitely worth it. However, ran into some snags. There was an ice storm here in Montreal, so I had an 8-hour delay getting to Buffalo. So I didn't get home until 2:30 in the morning,
oh,
the day of the Sabres game. And I was under the weather a little bit, so fighting through that. But honestly, so worth it. Like my
yeah,
brother, who wasn't able to come to the Olympics, came and stayed with us too, and he got to kind of have his Olympic experience, which was really special to share with him. And I had some other family members and friends there as well. And the Sabres do like this drum thing before the
yep,
game
yep.
to the chant of "Let's Go Buffalo," which I didn't even know. I had to look up videos. I was so nervous.
Yeah,
And they honored me on the jumbotron like right before, and everyone's like standing up and clapping, and like that was just really really cool. Like so
yeah.
incredible to kind of feel the hometown love and support. And I actually think I was more nervous for the drum than I was for the Pink interview. I'm
That
not
sounds
even
like you.
kidding. I was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually like, how do I do this? Do I hit it hard? Like, how hard do I hit the drum? Like, whatever. Anyway, I did it. Everything was okay.
You did it like a
So I
pro, like you
had,
do everything else. I'm sure. Yeah,
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 thank you.
yeah,
And so then after that, I had the interview with Marty Baron and Brian Duff, who are like the broadcasters in the middle of the
yeah.
interviews. And so I sat down with them right after the first period, and then that's when whole mess of people came over to watch and then wanted to meet me afterwards. And that was the highlight of it for sure, because all these little girls came up to me and told me how much I inspired them and how much
Oh, special.
how like they watched and tears in their eyes, just so excited to meet me. And uh it, I don't even have words. Like I was just so overcome with like emotion and just so grateful, and uh worth all the delays and the lack of sleep for sure. It was just amazing.
Well, like I'll say this to you, Haley. Like trailblazing is not easy work.
Mm.
and you and all of your counterparts are doing that
Mhm.
right now. I'm gonna say it again. The last time we spoke, it's funny because this has developed since we spoke. I
Mhm.
mentioned to you that do you realize you've been part of one of the most watched on TV games of all time, and then attended games of all time.
Mhm.
And then I was joking with the other day. Well, you can add to the resume now. You're gonna be on the first nationally televised game ever. You're doing
Yeah.
this. You're doing this
Yeah.
all before the halfway point of the year. Like,
Insane.
what else could happen? Just see what else could happen. You mentioned your family. I actually want to
Mhm.
tap in on that a little bit because
Mhm.
we haven't discussed like what is this like for you and your family? Are there some
Yeah.
maybe special moments you can share
Mhm.
about with your dad and with your family, your brothers,
Yep.
about not just winning but just
Yeah.
all of this?
So two of my brothers got to come to the Olympics. My mom, my dad, stepdad. Nick was able to come, my boyfriend.
Yeah,
And, you know, with my family, like one of the coolest parts is like against Sweden in the semifinals. I talked about this in the other episode, but like after I scored, seeing them so excited in the stands, like I it was like they were on the ice with me celebrating the goal.
yeah,
It was just so incredibly um exciting, and I was just so happy I got to share that with them. I don't even know how else to describe it. It was just so amazing. And then after winning gold, I think that was also kind of what made it click, was seeing my family in the stands. So like I'm seeing my mom crying, I'm seeing my brothers like consoling her, like everyone freaking out over there. And then my dad was in the other corner, and his smile was just like ear to ear huge. And he did like his little double wave like this. Like that's what I know he's like, pure joy,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like he just saw his daughter reach this goal that like he's helped me achieve along the way. Like, I mean, without him coaching me and him pushing me the way he did, I wouldn't be where I am today. Like that's without a doubt. And for my mom, like without her support, without her lack of hockey knowledge, to be honest, like she
yeah.
was my like support system outside of that, where like I didn't have to worry about hockey with her. Like we could just talk about other things. And I think that balance is kind of what made me who I am today and what brought me to the Olympics and finally that gold medal. So, um, yeah, that made me really emotional, and I think really hit home when I won the gold for sure.
Yeah, there's so much energy surrounding the
Yeah.
win,
Yeah.
and it's unlimited. Like you want to share
Yeah.
it with everyone. It's
Yeah.
it's a cool
Yeah.
feeling, right?
Yeah.
And I can tell you, at least I'll say limited experience, but like as a parent, like
Mhm.
I understand when we say we live through our kids in a lot of ways, it's
Mhm.
true. Like we feel what you
Mhm.
feel. When you're in pain, we're in pain. But when you're
Right.
elated, we're elated.
Yeah.
And so, they might as well have been putting that medal around all of their necks when they
Mhm.
put it on your neck. We
Mhm.
joked about we saw what the Wynn brothers were like too for
Yeah.
Haley and that
Yeah.
family.
Yep.
I think that's one of the cooler stories. I'm talking about just families in general
Yep.
that we don't talk about. Of like, yeah, it's a gold medal for you. It's a gold medal for the team, a gold medal for the country, but it's also a gold medal for so many people surrounding your life. Again, including your mother and father who played in the
Mhm.
NHL, and man, that must have just been. I'd love to talk to him about it just to get his feelings on it one day. Maybe we'll make that happen.
Yeah. Maybe.
I bet you.
We have to
I
get
just
him to work a computer though. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
We have to
you might
have
have
some
to just
help
sit
over
next to
there.
him and just be like, remember, the Scamurra they're listening to is me on this show. Okay, there's
Yeah.
no. No, thanks for asking that. So, look, in addition to all this stuff, your Buffalo Sabres stuff. By the way, I think the Bills do something with Let's Go Buffalo too before their games. So that's a
Probably.
pretty
Yeah.
cool, yeah. But also a ton of news. I mean, they did some
Mhm.
features on you with Nichols, and
Yeah.
like, are you aware of stuff like that when it's happening, or?
I have some family friends who like will send a lot of stuff as they see it. So that's usually how I find out about it, because there
Yeah,
is so much stuff. Like the Nichols thing really was really sweet. Like it's where I went to high school, and they interviewed all the girls there, and like how excited they were to see me there, and like she can be there, I can be there. Like
that's
it
awesome.
was just so cool. It's cool to see like kind of the reach that you have when you're in this position. And
I'll also say too, a friend of the show, Youth Inc., which is a really great
Mhm.
resource for all you families out there. If you haven't checked out Youth Inc., they do podcasts, they do a lot of content. Greg Olson, obviously famous NFL player, runs that. Check that out. But you did a great interview with them as
Yeah,
well, right? Like, how'd that come about, and what was your favorite part of that interview?
they were great. Shelby interviewed me for that
Yeah,
one, and she was so sweet. Like she was just very easy to talk to. It was very conversational. And it was just a lot of fun. It flew by. Um, my favorite part, we talked about the manifesting and like the whiteboard and stuff. That was really cool. And how I wrote over it every morning, I am a gold medalist, and how that kind of helped me keep my confidence like throughout the games. And then another great question Shelby asked me on the show was, I like female role models I kind of had growing up. And something I hadn't really realized until I answered the question was how important my first like female coach was, because I've
Right.
only had like male coaches in the space of hockey and soccer. Um, and so my first female coach was in high school, and I think it kind of opened my eyes to like what I could do later in life, because at the
Yeah.
time there also wasn't professional hockey. So I think seeing that was really critical for me, and then it was something that I could maybe aspire to one day, and it kind of like sparked that interest for me for sure in terms of like the coaching and mentorship side of things.
Yeah, I always like to mention it, because this was a realization for me too. I should preface it like that more often, that
Mm-hmm.
like, don't assume people have seen everything. And what I mean
Mm-hmm.
by that is, until you see a woman playing pro hockey, until you see a woman coaching, until you see whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is for the first time, you haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We talked about this before. Again, like my daughter watching you win a gold medal, like that is a
Mm-hmm.
possible future in her
Yeah.
mind. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
if it happens or not. Like it's
Yep.
happened.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I think we take that for granted sometimes. Like, look, if you're a fan of the NHL, you've seen people win the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's that simple, right?
Yeah.
So just I always just try and remind people of that too. And it's also, there's I always feel like there's a responsibility for me too. When I coach women's hockey or girls hockey, I try and find women coaches as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they're available, right? Because I want to
Mm-hmm.
bring them out there too. I don't think it's not just for me in any way. It's for the girls. I want them to see that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think we all play a role in enabling each other for that. So,
Yep.
all right, this next question is the last question. It's kind of a two-part question. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Staying on the media front, it's not, maybe it's slowed down a little bit, but it hasn't slowed down. Like you got even more stuff coming up from interviews and things like that, right?
Yeah, I have a lot of like podcast requests still coming through. I've got interviews, stuff to do back home in the summer when I'm done with like hockey, like
Right.
so much in the works. I'm going on Jason Tartick's podcast. He has like a
Yeah.
financial podcast. He was in like the Bachelor world, so I used to like love Bachelorette stuff. But now he does like like finance stuff. He also has like a company that helps people with like brands and things like that. And so
Yeah.
that was obviously a huge connection for me. Another fun thing I actually forgot to mention, like Rob Gronkowski made me like a little shout out
Yeah, he
video.
did. Yeah.
Because he's from Buffalo, New York as well. So just so many like amazing, wonderful things have been happening and are still kind of happening. And honestly, it's just all times I get to share the excitement of winning a gold medal and kind of relive it again. So it's just
Yeah.
been amazing, and not taking it for granted.
No, it's not every day you get a Gronk shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Just
And him doing
randomly.
a Buffalo cheer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. All right. So segueing into like this question now, turning into hockey.
Mm-hmm.
You win the gold medal.
Mm-hmm.
You're with Team USA for months, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of like stops, right? Like, what's next on the USA hockey front? How does that work? I mean, is it right to the World Championships next year? Is there like are you guys gonna have an off-season ceremony? Like, how does this work now?
It kind of just ends, and I think that's like the saddest part, and that's why we were kind of like so excited to like celebrate at the Village and everything. We're gonna have a celebration in Vegas, I think, by Flavor
Yes.
Flav, and
That has been very well documented.
Yep, we will be doing that. And then, hopefully there's other things this summer maybe we can plan together. But like obviously right now everyone's so busy, we haven't really gotten that far.
Right.
And then in terms of USA hockey stuff, like we would normally have an August camp, but I don't know if we'll do that anymore because now World Championships will be in November.
Right.
So we actually don't really know what's next at the moment.
Yeah,
So
it just
that's
kinda
actually
ends,
really
right?
weird. It just is kind of ended,
Yeah.
and now we're also starting a new process, I guess. Like it's a new setup in terms of having Worlds in November. So maybe
Right.
they'll have camp in October now. Like I don't know what it'll look like. So I think we'll probably find out in the coming months. I would imagine they're going to probably like keep in contact with us, but I don't think we would do an August camp anymore. But
Yeah.
who knows?
It's really interesting. So again, this is all kind of flowing. It's one question here, right? In the
Mhm.
very first Day in the Life episode, we
Mhm.
talked about how, okay, this is a very unique situation now. First time there's
Mhm.
been a pro women's league into the Olympics, back to pro hockey.
Mhm.
Again, we've talked in our Q&A episodes about the return to the PWHL. I think we talked about that earlier in this episode too. But
Mhm.
from a reflective standpoint, right, now you've done it, right, in terms of returned. How are you feeling? I guess is the right question. Like being back in the PWHL play at this point.
Returning to the PWHL, I had a feeling it would be the first game would be the hardest game probably. And it kind of was. I didn't feel great physically. I wasn't really fully there mentally. However, like I was so excited to be back with my teammates. Like, and I think that's what kind of showed through in the game. Like we were all so excited to be back together. And I think that's why we ended up playing so well and winning that game.
Right.
And then from there, like it was kind of back to business. Like it went really smoothly, I thought. And like our team meshed incredibly well. And again, I think that's just the culture we've built in the room and how excited people were to be to back together again. And those next two games, like those were some of our best games that we've played. And so I'm really excited to see how like the second half of the season goes. And like this
Yeah.
is the fun part too. It's like the standings are close, like everyone's fighting for that playoff spot. Like we're playing against Boston this Sunday, and that's gonna be, a battle for first at this point of the
Yeah.
season. And so we haven't seen each other since the beginning of the season. So we're really excited for that game. It's gonna be a sold out crowd. And that's also been really fun, like having more eyes on the game and more people watching on YouTube and being at the games in person. And so I think there's going to be like that new excitement energy kind of around all the games.
Yeah, it's been fun watching the sarcasm around the nobody watches women's sports conversations now, where it's like I think it's everyone watches women's sports is more prevalent now than anything.
Yeah.
How many Olympians were on the team? Montreal? Was it 5?
There was, I want to say 4 or 5 were on Team Canada playing.
Yeah.
2 were coaches. Then there was 1 from Czech, 1 from Germany, and 1 from Sweden.
Wow. So
And then me.
the full gamut there.
Mhm.
So what did your teammates that were not playing do while you were gone? Did they just practice?
They practiced like the whole time. They had a 5 or maybe a week break before, like when we had first left.
Yeah.
But after that, they practiced every day pretty much. And so
Yeah.
kudos to them because they did an incredible job. I think that's what we really highlighted a lot, like our coaches and the players who were at the Olympics. It was just like you could tell how hard they worked based on how well we've done in our
Right.
first games back because we had depth scoring in all of those
Right.
games.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
so what they did was massive and super important to the success of our team. But it had to be hard, like to not have games for that long and only practice. Like,
Yeah.
it's difficult mentally.
Well, I think it says a lot about the organization and the leadership too.
Mhm.
Like, it's
Mhm.
a pro team, right? Like,
Yep.
And the dedication to that. It's funny. I just was thinking here too. Like, you got to go back to the pro world. I'm thinking about like your college teammates who have to go back to school. That's
Nope.
probably a little different. Right? Like, I
Yeah,
gotta go to class now. I'm a gold medalist. I'm gonna
I'd
go
have
to
to
class.
skip class for a week, I think. I don't know if I
Yeah.
could do it. That's crazy.
I might be emailing my professors of
Yeah.
yeah, I got the gold medal flu. I need a couple of days here.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to be drafted in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is. So, again, kudos to your collegiate teammates as well, who obviously
Seriously.
stepped up. Okay, so that again arrives us now at the end of this question, which is we're going to look forward PWHL wise now.
Yeah.
You vaulted yourself right to the top of the standings after those 3 games. I know there's been some movement since then, just because these games happen.
Yep.
Now you are on a trajectory towards the playoffs, right? So for the audience now, like I'm kind of setting up the next day in the life.
Yeah.
What are we looking forward to now in terms of the PWHL? Because look, Montreal is one of the favorites here, right? There's a pressure with that too, and you've got to maintain. I know you know this. You've got to maintain the professionalism you've always maintained. This gold medal cannot stop you here, right?
No.
So set us up here for the next few months.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like the second half of the season at this point.
Right.
And this is where it gets like really crazy because we have the point system where it's 3 points for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime win or shootout win, 1 for an overtime loss or shootout loss. And so the standings change a lot. Like it's very volatile. Like it's crazy. You can win 3 games in a row and literally jump to first place. Like it's very crazy.
That's awesome too at the same time. I guess.
And so fun. Yeah. And that's what's so fun for the fans to watch too. And for us to play in, because like getting that regulation win means a lot more.
Yeah.
And so we have that. And then playoffs, only 4 teams make it, and we have 8 teams.
Right.
So it's gonna be tight. Like it's gonna be a battle. And then they also have what they call the gold plan. So the teams who are in like last place or whoever gets eliminated first, you want to
Yep.
win or get as many points as you can
I'm glad
so
you
that
brought
you
it up.
get the first draft pick
Right.
in the next draft. So again, like no games are easy when you're
Right.
in our season because everyone is fighting for something, whether it's a playoff spot or the gold plan. And so I think that part's really cool about our league and what makes it more exciting for fans to watch.
I
So
wish more leagues would adopt that. I
it's
think
so smart.
it's so brilliant. It's so much
Yeah.
better than a stupid lottery that
Yes.
everyone thinks is rigged, even though it may not be.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you brought it up because again, once you're eliminated, it's not going to stop you from playing.
Yep.
And again, I can hear some fans going, well, why would players want to play hard to try and get someone that's going to possibly replace them? These are professional athletes.
Yeah.
Your character matters, right?
Yeah.
If you're not playing your butt off, you're not going to be on that team next season.
Also true.
Obviously, you want to be in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I love what the PWHL has done to create competitive balance across the league. I do have to say it. I don't know when the next expansion is going to be. But please look at Philadelphia. I don't know why we haven't had a takeover game yet. Everybody here wants a takeover game. I'm hoping that's going to happen next season.
We'll let the league know.
Yeah, I'm going to say it. The 27th season, I don't know how it has not happened yet. But
that is crazy.
I will give, obviously, Washington a lot of credit for what they've done. But we have a lot of girls hockey in Philly, too. So please, I'm pleading with you. That's not going to be evergreen, what I just said. Or maybe it'll be a fun thing to revisit.
Yeah.
Haley, another great episode. Again, I love that we're setting this up. The audience is wishing you and Montreal the best. But I'm going to tell the audience too, like, again, this has been a really fun series. I think this will conclude our gold medal coverage for now. I'm hoping we're going to be talking about playoff championships and success in the future. I know that's got to be where your mind's at now, right? That is, we talked about manifestation and visualization. Is that where you're heading with that now?
Yeah, our whiteboard has a little flip. So on the other side, we have I'm a Walter Cup champion. So
I love it.
Yes, it is ready.
I love it. All right. Well, audience listening, thank you so much. Again, we're not done with Haley by any sense of the word. We're going to keep having great interviews, great conversations. Remember, if you have a topic, especially in girls hockey, you want us to discuss, email us at team@ourkidsplayhockey.com, message me or message Haley on Instagram. Or remember that there's a link accompanying the episode in the description where you can text us. Just leave your name, where you're from, anything you want us to discuss. And we love hearing your questions. Again, we only put the Q&A stuff up once in a while because you ask at least 2 episodes worth of questions. It's always fun. Haley, thanks so much for the time today, as always.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, gang, that's going to do it for this edition of Our Kids Play Hockey. We'll see you on the next one. Our girls play hockey. Excuse me, I'm too used to saying that. See you next one, everyone. Have fun. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Our Kids Play Hockey. Make sure to like and subscribe right now if you found value wherever you're listening, whether it's a podcast network, a social media network, or our website, ourkidsplayhockey.com. Also, make sure to check out our children's book, When Hockey Stops, at whenhockeystops.com. It's a book that helps children deal with adversity in the game and in life. We're very proud of it. But thanks so much for listening to this edition of Our Kids Play Hockey, and we'll see you on the next episode.